Well, I've got a pipe and a magnifying glass, but I don't have a deerstalker. I guess this is the case of the missing creativity. The game is afoot. Enola Holmes, sister to famed Arthur Conan Doyle brothers Sherlock and Mycroft Holmes, uses her budding detective skills to search for her mother who's just gone missing. Along the way, she gets wrapped up in a building mystery and conspiracy that could affect England's very future. This is a fun story and film. Millie Bobby Brown, as Enola Holmes, is able to capture our hearts and attention just almost from the get-go and bring us right into the film. She breaks the fourth wall quite often, and what that does is it allows her to bring us in on backstory, especially about her upbringing, and how we get to meet her at the present time. It also helps that some of the time she's able to interject humor into what she's saying or just her actions, and so she becomes a likable character very quickly. Henry Cavill and Sam Claflin play Sherlock and Mycroft Holmes respectively, and Helena Bonham Carter plays the missing mom. Now all of the family members work, but they are quite minor, which is actually a good thing because this allows the story of Enola to shine through. While there is a decent amount of humor to this story, don't go in thinking that it's a comedy. I mean, it's just some lighthearted fun amidst the telling of a mystery. And even the mystery itself is not dark and dire. The mystery that Enola stumbles into is pretty entertaining, but honestly, I found the interactions with other characters way more engaging than the mystery itself. It's not that the mystery wasn't interesting, but I was just really enjoying getting to know the characters and seeing how they function and how they interact. There are some instances that feel like they could play like a fish out of water scenario. Luckily though, they don't last too long because Enola is a smart and cunning and ingenious character. I love how crafty she is, and she's able to adapt to new surroundings really easily. She's also pretty resourceful, which builds on the character's strength and smarts. This is a period piece, but if you get too caught up in what is or isn't historically accurate, then you're going to miss the fun. And really, honestly, the historical accuracy isn't even the point of the film. I mean, it's meant to be a fun jaunt where we get to meet a character and we get to be introduced and grow alongside them and get to know them better and hopefully be engaged by them and want to find out more and more so that we want to go on journeys with them. Part of the settings feel like they come out of Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes films, but just a little cleaner and less dark. I think it's fun to see London as this burgeoning city where you get to see it under construction to be built up into the massive city that it is today. Now, I really enjoyed the minor characters, and I know that this wasn't their movie, but I still would have liked to have seen a little bit more from them because I was having fun when they were on screen. Henry Cavill as Sherlock is smart and sure. I mean, he's the clever detective that we know, but he's also able to interject some whimsy into his performance. Claflin as Mycroft is the perfect choice. He's droll and sarcastic, and he's a little bit removed, socially and physically from people and emotionally distanced. Claflin plays the character a little bit like he did in You Before Me, except way more proper and just stuffy. And honestly, I really wanted to see more of him when he was on screen because of the sarcasm and just how he would deliver his lines. I mean, it just dripped with contempt sometimes. And he just became this character that I wanted to see. And Claflin himself was killing it as Mycroft. Edith is a friend of Enola and her mom, and she teaches jujitsu and serves tea. She's played by Susan Wokoma, and she's pretty fun. I first saw this actress in an odd show called Crazy Head, and that was a lot of fun. She was great in that, and I liked her in this. We barely see her. We get a little bit, and we understand their interaction and her relationship with Enola, and I like that. But I do hope that if they continue out and build more of these stories with Enola Holmes, that Edith gets to come alongside and that we get to see more of her, especially with Susan Wokoma playing that character. And finally, we have Helena Bonham Carter, and honestly, she can't be on screen very much because she's the one who's gone missing. I did want more from her story, though the resolution that we get with her is a bit vague. It's not unsatisfying, it's just not well answered. And I do like the times that we do get to see her on screen, and most of that is through flashbacks as Enola is building the backstory and telling us about her and how she grew up and just her relationship with her mom. Bonham Carter is a great choice for this, and she's not playing some weird over-the-top type of character that sometimes we see her in, especially in Tim Burton films. This one, she's pretty well grounded. She is just kind of a secretive mom, and she can pull it off really well. The movie's 123 minutes, and the last 20-ish minutes feel a little long. And I think that's because the movie feels like it's ending, and then it continues on. There are some fun action sequences in this also. There's hand-to-hand combat, some chase scenes through tight quarters, even a train scene. Most of them are pretty exciting and enjoyable. And there's not so many of them so that it seems more like an action movie and less like a drama or a mystery. This is really an origin story. I mean, it is setting up Enola Holmes, setting us up with the character, introducing us, telling us about her, and getting us just involved in her life, and hopefully making us want to see more and more of her. I would love to see this as a franchise where we get to see Enola Holmes as the star, solving crimes or solving mysteries at the very least, and having some fun with it. Brown has a lot of charisma that she brings to the character too, and I think that's what makes Enola Holmes so easy to watch and so easy to root for. I mean, she pulls off the action and the sequences that she has to do, the physicality of it, very convincingly, but she can also then interject humor with some really good timing and some drollness, and just she gets it. And so when she delivers her lines with the facial expressions and everything, it makes sense, and it'll make you chuckle, or at least smirk. And then I love that the character herself is smart. I mean, she gives Sherlock a run for his money. I had a lot of fun with this first foray into the new Sherlock universe. It's not a cinematic masterpiece, but it was enjoyable, and it's a great way to spend 2 hours. There's no sex, nudity, or profanity, but there is some violence. I give Enola Holmes 4 out of 5 couches. Are you a fan of the Sherlock Holmes stories? Do you have a favorite? Let me know what that is in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.